my amazing community of language lovers, educators, global citizens, and curious minds. Welcome to the Languages Pedagogy Podcast. I'm your host, Mike, and today we're diving deep into a topic that's as fun as it's controversial: teaching slang and informal speech responsibly. Let's set this in here. You're in a classroom, right? You got a group of enthusiastic learners. Maybe they're teenagers, maybe professionals, or maybe just world travelers, right? They're hungry for real English, or Spanish, or Chinese, or any other language, right? They want to understand memes, reply to text without sounding like a textbook, and talk like locals. So, what do they ask for, right? Teaches the real stuff, the way people actually talk. They don't want Shakespeare. They want TikTok. They don't want verb charts. They want vibe checks. And that's fair because language is living. Language is culture. Language is messy, weird, sometimes hilarious, contradictory at times, and often very informal. So the question is, how do we teach that real side of language without promoting stereotypes, vulgarity, or phrases that may be inappropriate depending on the context or culture? Hard question, right? How do we strike that sweet balance between being cool and being responsible? So, sit down, lay down, go for a walk, put your headphones, take your coffee, your tea, your cha, and let's get started.
Woo! Let's go!
So let's start this amazing episode with part 1. Why slang matters in language learning. Let's get one thing clear. Slang is not a lesser form of a language. It is rich with identity, emotion, innovation, and creativity as well. Slang is how communities express solidarity, rebellion, intimacy, humor. It marks in groups and out groups. It tells you where someone is from, what subculture they belong to, and sometimes even their political views. So yes, if you're aiming for fluency or cultural competence, slang is essential. And this one is especially for learners planning to travel or study abroad, or for those interested in pop culture and social media. Also for students who communicate with native speakers online. But let's not romanticize it entirely, because slang is also a context dependent, region specific, often age restricted, and sometimes deeply offensive when misused. That's why it's not just about teaching slang, it's about teaching it responsibly. And now let's keep going with part 2, the dangers of slang in classroom. Alright, I want to start this one by telling you a story. Years ago I had a student who asked me, "Hey Mike, what does 'what's up, my dog' mean?" He had heard it in a movie and wanted to use it with his American host family. I just stayed there for a moment. I was thinking, like I paused it. Why? Because what seems like a casual, funny greeting among teenagers can carry cultural baggage, racial undertones, or generational inappropriateness, if used in the wrong context, of course. This is the first danger. Slang is often tied to race, class, and social identity. Second danger here. Learners may use slang without understanding tone or delivery. A phrase like "shut up" might be friendly among teens, but can come across as rude or aggressive in another tone. Third, slang ages fast. Teach something in 2020, and it might be cringe by 2022, right? Language learners may not be able to tell when something is no longer relevant, or worse, when it's outdated and makes them sound like a meme grandpa, right? This one is a really funny one. Can you imagine that? A meme grandpa. Part 3. Frameworks for teaching slang responsibly. So, how do we teach slang in a way that's educational, empowering, and safe? Here's my suggested framework, all right? Keep in mind, this is my suggestion. It's not something I'm telling you it's 100% proved. If you got your own way, that would be amazing as well. Please share it in the comments below. So the first one I have here is context before content. Before teaching a slang phrase, frame it. Where is it used? Who says it? What social groups claim it? Is it tied to a cultural moment? Keep those questions in mind. If you're teaching lit, for example, explain it's rooted in African American Vernacular English, or AAVE, and associated with youth culture. 2. Register awareness. Help students understand register. When is informal language appropriate? When should it be avoided? Can they switch from yo, what's up to hello, how are you? Based on audience? Well, code switching is a critical skill for multilingual, multicultural communication. This is very important to keep it in mind. 3. Ethical considerations. Avoid teaching slang that involves maybe racist or sexist or ableist terms, sexual innuendo, unless your learners are mature and it's relevant. Regional slurs or controversial expressions. Profanity without purpose. If you're going to teach controversial terms, for example, the difference between damn and dammit, always discuss their cultural weight. 4. Cultural sensitivity. Teach slang with culture, not isolate it from it, alright? If you're teaching no cap, explore its journey through hip hop and into the mainstream. 5. Use media intentionally. Slang lives in music, TikToks, memes, YouTube clips, you name it. Use these as text. Analyze them. Pause the video. Ask, what does this mean? Who is speaking? What emotion is being conveyed? Turn memes into language analysis. Make reels into reading comprehension. Part 4. Designing a lesson around slang. Now, let me give you an actual template for teaching slang responsibly in class. Alright? You can download it in a link or in my website. Well, the topic, describe an emotion using informal language. 1. Starter. Present a meme or short reel that uses the phrase, I'm dead, meaning I'm laughing hard. 2. Comprehension. Ask students what they think it means. Scaffold their understanding. 3. Analysis. Who uses this phrase? Can you use it with your boss? What tone is it used with? Where did this phrase originate? 4. Production. Students create their own memes or dialogues using similar emotional slang. 5. Reflection. Ask students to share a slang phrase from their own language and explain its meaning. Part 5. Cross-cultural comparison of slang. One of the most powerful ways to teach slang is comparative linguistics. What does cool mean in your language? In Russian, you might hear kruto, kruto. In Brazilian Portuguese, massa or tahora. In Spanish, chévere, guay, or copado. In Chinese would be ku. By comparing, students realize all languages have informal expressions. Slang isn't universal, it's culturally anchored. Literal translations don't work. That's sick. Can sound alarming. to a beginner, right? Use this as a way to build intercultural respect. Don't mock slang, understand it, and spread the word. Teach students to understand it, not to laugh at it. It's not actually a way to mock, right? Part 6. Teacher's role. Gatekeeper or guide? Now let's be honest. Some educators avoid slang because it feels unprofessional, right? Some fear it sends the wrong message. Others just aren't confident in how to explain it. But here's the truth. If we don't teach it, the internet will. Easy. TikTok will, YouTube, Reddit, you name it. So we can either leave learners to wander into linguistic minefields alone, or walk them through with a flashlight and a map. That's how I see it. As educators, our role is to encourage curiosity, prevent misunderstanding, mainly, teach nuance, and above all, empower learners with choice. They don't need to use every slang word they hear, but they should understand it. That's called fluency. Part 7. When slang is the lesson itself. Sometimes the goal is to explore slang for what it tells us about society. Slang mirrors the world. Why did ghosting become a word? Because digital dating created emotional distance. Why is adulting now a verb? Because millennials had to redefine maturity. Why do we say savage? Now to mean bold or brutal. Because pop culture rebranded it, and we haven't stopped since. Use slang as a sociolinguistic window. What do slang words say about power, gender, tech, youth, and resistance? So many things, right? Now, part 8. Slang in the AI era. Let's talk about this one more twist, okay? AI translators and slang. Machines still struggle with informal speech. Google Translate might handle where are you from, but good luck with what you up to, or I'm shook. Even speech recognition tools misunderstand slang, accents, and informal grammar. For sure you all know. So if your learners rely heavily on AI tools, they may be missing key dimensions of the language they think they're mastering. Teaching slang can help them outsmart the robots. And finally, let's not forget, slang can be a badge of belonging. When learners get a joke, understand a pun, or drop a phrase that makes locals smile, that's not just communication. That's confidence, identity, and connection. But only when they use it mindfully. So, to all my teachers out there, don't be afraid of slang. Be intentional with it. Don't ban it, frame it, don't glorify it either. Contextualize it. Use it as a bridge, not as a barrier. And to all my learners, learn the slang, but also learn why people say it, when they say it, and when not to. This is important. Because real language power isn't about sounding cool. It's about connecting with people in authentic, respectful, and informed ways. Until next time, keep it real, keep it curious, and keep teaching with intention.